Deep within the sprawling, murky expanse of the Florida Everglades, a place where the air hangs thick and heavy with the scent of cypress and decay, lies a legend whispered by generations of Gladesmen. It's the tale of a figure they call the Swamp Witch, a mysterious recluse whose very name sends a shiver down the spine. For over a century, stories have circulated about a decrepit shack, half swallowed by the mangroves and Spanish moss, that served as her domain. And they say no one who dared to approach it ever returned quite the same. The story begins with a woman named Elara, though no one knows if that was her real name. She appeared in the Glades sometime in the late 1800s, a solitary figure who built her home far from any settlement. The locals, wary of outsiders, kept their distance. Soon, strange things began to happen. Fishermen would lose their prize catches just as they reeled them in. Hunters would find their trails mysteriously vanish. And a strange, eerie glow was often seen emanating from the direction of her shack on moonless nights. The whispers grew into a chilling narrative. Elara, they said, wasn't just a recluse. She was a witch who communed with the spirits of the swamp. They claimed she could command the alligators, summon swarms of mosquitoes with a single word, and brew potions from rare glowing fungi that could either heal or curse. The most terrifying part of the legend was the curse of her shack. It was said that anyone who trespassed on her land, driven by greed or foolish bravado, would be marked. The curse manifested in different ways. Some were said to have lost their way in the labyrinthine waterways, forever wandering the swamp, their calls for help swallowed by the fog. Others returned to their towns with a vacant look in their eyes, their minds seemingly erased, muttering about glowing eyes in the darkness and a voice that sounded like rustling leaves and cracking branches. They spoke of a shadowy figure that moved without a sound, her form blending seamlessly with the gnarled trees. One of the most famous accounts is that of two young trappers who, emboldened by drink and disbelief, decided to prove the legend false. They set out at dusk, vowing to bring back a piece of the witch's shack as proof. They were followed by a thick, unnatural fog that seemed to rise from the water to meet them. According to the story, only one of them made it back, stumbling into a trading post days later, delirious and covered in scratches. He never spoke a coherent word again, but he clutched a single, blackened piece of wood in his hand, and for the rest of his short life, he would scream in terror whenever the sun went down. Is the swamp witch real? Or is she simply a cautionary tale, a creation of the human mind to explain the unexplainable dangers of one of America's wildest frontiers? The Everglades is a place that guards its secrets well. The land itself is a living, breathing entity, full of strange noises, sudden mists, and creatures that lurk just beneath the surface. It's easy to see how the imagination could run wild in such a primal, untamed environment. But even today, some local guides will refuse to take their boats down certain forgotten channels. They'll tell you that some places are best left alone, that the spirit of the swamp still remembers. They'll look over their shoulder into the dense, dark thicket and tell you that if you listen closely on a quiet night, you can still hear a faint, sorrowful whisper carried on the humid breeze, the lonely voice of the swamp witch of the Everglades. So if you ever find yourself deep in that ancient marshland and see a flickering light where no light should be, it might be best to turn back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into American folklore, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more mysteries. See you next time.